Hello, everybody. How's everybody doing on this Monday night? Preseason's over. We're ready to start the regular season. Hi, Vadim. Hello, Knicks and politics internet fans. All right, we're going to avoid politics today. I try to avoid them every day. You guys keep bringing them up. So Rob's working. Got me today. Rich will be here Thursday. Act Nation is out of town. He couldn't come today. I thought he was coming. Hopefully we'll have back some other people. I reached out to some other people. Mr. Terrible said the Knicks would get swept. I didn't think they'd get swept. At best, I thought they would win in 5, the Celtics, but I didn't think they'd shoot so poorly 2 games in a row and blew 2 leads. Nobody thought that. Rob was predicting a sweep for the Knicks after they won their first 2. He says, why not? Everyone keeps predicting the Celtics. I go, yeah, but they're the better team. And they're not going to keep shooting 25% from threes. I didn't think there was any chance at all almost the Knicks were going to win game 3. I tried to tell Rob that nicely. I could see it coming. Like they were just going to go out there and they had so much. They're defending champs. They had a pride on their line. They're not going to keep shooting like that. I saw, a 10 to 30 point win pretty easily. But now I have no idea who's going to win game 4 because the Knicks played well the first 2 games and they're at home, and that Madison Square Garden gets loud. What's the line for today? Let me look up ESPN. What is the line for today? Game 4 is my favorite game, is because most often, 80% of the time, it's 2-1, and you go down and it's down to 95.3%. I think that your chance to win if you go down 3-1, 95.3. Yeah. So today's the lottery. Today is for the draft, right? Lottery for the draft. So we need Cooper Flagg to go to Philadelphia. That's what we need. Let me see. I wonder what the line is on this. Do they have the lines on here? Boston's favored by 5.5, and Minnesota, even though they're away, are favored by 5.5 because Curry's injured for the games tonight. So they're both game 4s. One series is 2-2, and one series is 3-1 in the other 2 series. Hey, Lindy. Hey, Charlie. Michael Jordan be working for NBC basketball next season? Really? Jordan's finally going to do something in broadcasting? What is he doing? Is he going to be in the studio or color commentary? Seriously? He always seems like he doesn't want to get involved in something like that. I've never heard him comment on Caitlin Clark, which I find really interesting. I've seen some videos pretending he commented on it, but I've never seen one where they commented on him. He actually commented on that. So a special role. What is a special role? Undefined. That doesn't tell me anything. And that doesn't mean he's going to do anything. Oh, well. It's very interesting. On camera for sure. All right, let me look up the internet. Michael Jordan, NBC, and see what I get. He looked like he gained some weight. He'll probably slim down a little bit. Coverage as contributor. Special contributor. Well, let me see. Which one usually has the best? Not Yahoo. New York Times usually has the best information. Let me go to New York Times. Michael Jordan. This is big news. Let me pull this up on the screen. Special contributor. Why is it like that? Okay. NBC Sports rode Michael Jordan to record viewership numbers in the 1990s when Jordan's Bulls won 6 titles. And one day, the network offered a nostalgic announcement regarding he's back. All right. NBC last had the league in 2002. So he's returning to them. It's too early for specifics in Jordan's role. They hire a guy with no specifics about his roles. I think he's going to be in the halftime show. I don't think he wants to do color commentator for a whole game. That's just my guess. It's easier to do and it's less travel. Much of the on-air talent is already know Mike Tirico, Noah Eagle. It's 2 top play-by-play. Carmelo Anthony has been announced for studio. Oh, I don't know about Carmelo Anthony, but okay. Well, Jamal Crawford and Reggie Miller will serve as game analysts. I think they're going to put him as a. So we'll see. All right. So we'll see what happens. I think he's going to be a halftime show. I guess that's going to be with Carmelo Anthony. Carmelo Anthony had some weird views on Caitlin Clark and Juju Watkins. I don't respect him anymore. So, yeah, he's just going to do halftime. It's the least amount of work. You don't have to travel so much, just in the studio. Sometimes in the playoffs they go, but during the regular season they usually just in the studio. He owns a NASCAR team. Have they won anything? So we'll see what happens. So here's my feeling in the preseason games for Caitlin Clark and the Fever, unless you guys want to talk about NBA more, which I will. The Warriors game, I don't know if I can see them winning without Curry, but we'll see. They're at home. They came close last time. Knicks Celtics, that's a tough one tonight. I guess I'll pick the Celtics because they still don't want to go down 3-1, which would bode poorly for the Knicks because then it'd be 2-2 and the Celtics have 2 home games left. But if I have to pick, I'll pick the 2 favorites for tonight's games. Any proof of what? Any proof of that, Mark? That was Nate Basil's mom. Charlie doesn't like Carmelo Anthony. He's on my S list since I see him talking about Juju Watkins being like Michael Jordan and stuff like that. I'm muted. It's Basil's mom. It's not Basil. Basil's mom is. So, well, he'll be pissed if they go down 2-2. He'll be in a great mood tomorrow if they win. He'll have his hat on. He'll be saying, go New York, go. I'm not muted? Okay. All right, so here's my feeling about the preseason games. We couldn't tell much because they never played a good team. They played I think Atlanta Dream's a good team, but they played without Brittany Griner except for 38 minutes. And also, Caitlin didn't play one game. And then against the Dream also, Sophie got injured. And she was like experimenting, I'm sure. They weren't going to show their cards in the preseason. You know, just some movement, some defense. So I think Caitlin Clark looks slower, but I don't know if it has anything to do with her weight or has more to do with the fact that she was just not trying to sprint because she didn't want to pull a leg muscle. But I know she didn't get any free throws in the preseason. She got, I think I think someone said she had one foul called in her favor, but it wasn't a shooting foul. And they weren't in the bonus. And then she got 4 fouls called against her and a technical. So technically 5 goals against her. So I'm not impressed with Cindy Colson. I think Turner's better than people give her credit for because she passes, she sets screens, she plays defense, she rebounds. She just doesn't look for her shot. So I think that it looks to me like Jaylen Brown will be cut, and then they're going to sign her back on in about 10, 15, whenever they have enough money. They got like $43,000. So it's going to be part of the season. That's what I think. She looked slow in the Iowa game, but not in the Atlanta game. She looked slower in the Iowa game than the Atlanta game, but she still looks slower than last year. But I'm reserving judgment until I see her play in a regular season game, especially with a week rest. I'll see what happens. Because 10 pounds of muscles is still 10 pounds. Now it's muscle, and it could make her legs stronger too, because I'm sure she worked out with her legs too. So that could make her faster in that way, but it's also 10 more pounds you're carrying. Lindy sees some problems with the fever. New vets are not seeing players or seeing players or plays or both, like Caitlin does. Example, Bonner threw away 2 passes, not understanding they were going to cut to the basket. Yeah, most of these players have never played together before. So, and Dantas hasn't even played yet. And I think that gives them a new dimension that they haven't even experimented with, which was unfortunate. First, she had the death in her family. Someone said it was her father. I just know it was a family death. And then she had an injury, and I wanted to see how she was playing. Jessica Carter and this guy she got cut today. Jessica Carter got cut today. Sellers got waived now. I looked WNBA earlier today. Sellers look slow. I feel bad for her because from what people have said, watched her play. I didn't really watch her play in college. She has talent, but she has a bad knee, and she's too slow right now. So I think she needs to rehab the knee and try out again next year or something, because she got waived by 2 teams rather quickly. Let's see. We got transactions here that I know what I'm doing now. Sabalia Liberty exercised their option with Naira Sabalia. Okay. Batea King was waived by the Sparks. Really? I thought Serena Sundell got waived by Seattle Storm. Whoa. Wasn't that the point guard, right? She was a point guard that people thought they should have drafted instead of Bree Hall. The 6'1" Sun guy who led the country in assists. Isn't that her? Do I get that right? Yeah. Wow. That was her, right? Maybe the Fever can pick her up, because I'm not impressed with. Although she didn't even make Seattle, but She led the country in assists. She can't be that bad. Yeah, Cheyenne Sellers was waived again. I thought Latia King was pretty good. What game did I see it? Let's see. Let's see. Can the Fever pick her up? She's Beauty and the Beast. Who, Serena Sundell? Well, they can't without waiving somebody, because I think they're keeping Timpson and Turner. They're not waiving Turner. Turner adds too much to the team and experience too. She's in her prime. She's made all defense. And I don't think they can waive. They're not going to waive Timpson either, because she was a steal at that pick. So Jaylen Brown is gone, but no one will probably pick her up because she hasn't established herself in this league, and they can just pick her up again a third of the way through the season. I think that's what's going to happen, unless they're going to pick up Serena Sundell. But they can't pick her up either until the third of the way through the season, but they can reach out to her, I think, because she's been waived. Can the Fever pick up Jessica Carter? We'll ask her just for you. They don't need Jessica Carter. They would need another guard, I think. If they're going to keep both Timpson and Turner, they need a guard. Let's see. Lindy's giving him 7 to 9 games. It's going to take a little bit. Mosey wants to cut Colson. Let me come back to Vadim here. Cut Colson. They can't cut her now. Well, if they want to, Serena Sundell couldn't even make Seattle, though. It tells you that she was really that good. What about has Celeste Taylor and Berger made the teams yet? I haven't seen them on the waiver list. Berger only had 6 minutes last game, though. Yeah, I'm not happy with Colson. I think they went one player too many with championship experience. They don't need, 8 veterans with championship experience. All they need is a couple veterans. That's 2 is enough. And that was enough with Bonner and Natasha Howard. That was enough veteran championship leadership. Yeah, how many people do you need in the huddle saying, things that need to be done? I saw some sides like off the ball, inside out, that never came back. Okay. She passes the preseason. Yeah, I'm holding judgment too. So I don't know what's going on with that. Fetham gives Steph White the whole season. Well, that's true. I mean, they're not, unless they start out like awful, but that's not going to happen. Unless Caitlin Clark gets injured. That's not going to happen. As long as Caitlin Clark's healthy, they're not starting off awful. But yeah, I'm going to see if they can win a championship with her. But they're not going to waive Sydney Colson. They're going to waive Brown. And then who they bring back could be Brown or someone else. If they want to give like Sundell, they could have drafted Sundell instead of Bree Hall. And they chose not to. F them. That was my own pronunciation. They had a chance to draft her, right? She was available, and they drafted Bree Hall, and I didn't think Bree Hall was ever going to make it. I didn't understand that draft pick. She basically does the same thing as Lexi Hall, not as well, despite what South Carolina fans think. And I would have tried Sundell at that pick, but that's me. just to test her out. Yeah, they passed on Lucy Olson. I like Lucy Olson. I think she's better than Bree Hall. And I don't know why they didn't. I don't know if Lucy, she hasn't been waived yet, right? So she might make the team. Like they have to decide by Thursday at 5:00, I think, Eastern time, if I'm not mistaken. So if Lucy Olson gets waived, they could give her a shot too. Pick up Carter. Carter's at the same position as, isn't Carter a forward? They don't need a forward. They're going to keep Timpson and they also have Dantas and they also have Brianna Turner. They're not going to pick up Carter. Well, Haley Van Lith was already drafted, so they were never going to get Haley Van Lith. So I'm not sure why you were, unless they didn't have to give away that draft pick, which they did, and unfortunately which is worth it to get Sophie Cunningham and get rid of Melissa Smith. No, I didn't say Lucy was cut. I don't know. I didn't see her on the but she may. What's that? Yeah, I think they waived Grace Berger to give her a chance to get some playing time, some serious minutes. If you think about it, she's a year older than Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark is going to be their point guard probably for the next 15 years, as long as the organization has their act together. Caitlin Clark won't leave Indiana. And Grace Berger doesn't want to play 6 meaningful minutes a game for the rest of her career. So I think she's a pretty good fit for the Fever because she can play the 1 or the 2. But I don't know. I understand why they did that. But I like Lucy Olson or give Serena Sindel a chance, to see how they do. So I don't know. Jaylen Brown is athletic. She just isn't a good shooter from what I can see. No, I just disagree with you because you're wrong a lot. That's all. Not principle. No, everyone said, "Oh, Sydney Colson, she played so great in one playoff game." When what happened? Chelsea Gray got injured. I go, well, that's not enough. She's a career backup. So I was assuming I hadn't seen her play. I didn't. The times they played New York, I didn't. I guess who she was on the Aces. I didn't pay attention to the backup point guard. So I didn't know how good she was. I was assuming they knew what she was talking about because they've watched her play for the last, 12 years or whatever. But she's not as good as they made her sound. The people made her sound. But they don't need. You don't need every player to be, championship. You got a coach there who's experienced. I know she doesn't have a championship in the pros. But you had 2 veterans that have championship titles and experience, 33 and 37 years old. That's enough for leadership. You got Caitlin Clark as a leader. She's a winner despite not having a championship. So I didn't need every person they picked to be, someone with championship pedigree. If Colson is better than she was, yeah, and that's a bonus. But so far, we'll wait and see. I always saw her, and it was a couple preseason games. And maybe she just has to mesh with other people. But right now, she's not impressed people. So she plays pretty good defense. And if she only has to play 6 to 8 minutes, her defense will be pretty intense because, she's 35, right? So she'll get tired easier. But if she's only playing a few minutes, she can play intense defense the entire time. And if she's a good defender, that's good. But we need her to run the offense properly also. So the team doesn't go downhill for those 6 to 8 minutes or whatever. So let's see. Who was saying, Burrow, you're obsessed with Carter. Carter, if she was that good, she would have made that other team, right? No, Demir Tantris is good. She gives them a different look against certain teams. They need some stretching it out and some scoring. She can hit some threes. No, I agree with Lindy. I like her off the bench. And you don't have to put her in if you don't want to. You can put in Turner. And if you don't want scoring, you want defense, rebounding, passing, and screen set, you put in Turner. If you want some scoring, then you put in Didi and stretching the court out. Then you put in her. But people are down on Aaliyah Boston. So she didn't do those gripping exercises that I told her to do last year, because her hands are not strong and the ball gets knocked out of her hands too easily in the post. Yes. I agree. I don't think Bree Hall was that great in college. I didn't understand why she got drafted in the second round. I'm not sure what they had in mind, because they didn't keep her very long. They didn't give her much of a chance playing. She must not look that good in practice. I knew she wasn't a good offensive player. I watched her play at South Carolina. She's a solid defender, but she's not like superstar defender. So I don't know. I would have drafted Lucy Olsen or Serena Sundell. Not that I'm sure either one of them would make the team, but I'd give them a chance. So we'll find out what's happening. I doubt they're going to waive Colson. But I doubt the Fever are going to waive Colson. It might be their only year she plays for them. But yeah, I think there's only 4 people with a protected contract, and that's one of those. I have it written down. It was Lexi Hall, Demir Tantas, and Natasha Howard and Kelsey Mitchell, I think, were the 4 that had protected. It's not I think those are the 4 that had it. Let me just say they wrote it down. Yeah. Lexi Hall, Demir Tantas, Natasha Howard, and Kelsey Mitchell. Those are the only 4 that are protected, unless they picked up the option on the rookie contracts for someone like Boston or Clark or Lexi Hall or whatever. Then they could become protected also. But those are the only 4 original contracts. And the other ones are unprotected. And the difference between that and a camp contract is not very much, except if they play a half a season, then it becomes guaranteed if they're on an unprotected contract as opposed to a camp contract, which never becomes guaranteed. That's why I understood it from the explanation I got from ChatGPT when I asked it a bunch of questions about the difference. I wouldn't worry about that at all, Michael. I'll tell you why, for 2 reasons. Number one, because of the next CBA, people just wanted to sign 1-year contracts because they have a feeling they're going to be able to make more money the next year. And I think the Fever, as long as they have Stephanie White as a coach and Caitlin Clark as the point guard, will attract free agents. So they can get more free agents because other people signed 1-year contracts too for other teams. So I'm not worried about that at all. That's just me. I could be wrong, but that's the way I read what's happening with the CBA and how the players are thinking. And also, I think it's a unique situation where you have Caitlin Clark that can get free agents in here. Now, they always have a salary cap issue. So that's irrelevant, I think, to this discussion. That's a good point, Tracy. Yeah, I didn't know Sophie could play point guard, but I think she can, and I think she can play up-tempo offense better than Colson. So maybe Colson wasn't even necessary. I haven't seen Cunningham play that much point guard yet, but I think she seems adequate at it for 6 minutes, 8 minutes, right? And she can play it up tempo because she's fast, which is what they need. They want to be consistent with, Caitlin Clark on the bench. So I don't know. Maybe you should just waive Colson and give Serena Sundell a shot. At least she's a point guard. A young point guard who's fast, but I don't know. She wasn't good enough to make Seattle, and Seattle has pretty much like an average team. Like theoretically, they have an average team according to the projections. I'm not saying they're average in the guard department. So, yeah, Temmie's starting for the Golden State team, right? So it's too bad. I'd like to pick her up, but they lost her. I'm not sure. They never said what 6 people they saved. Got another vote for DD. And she looks a lot thinner. And so yeah, if Boston's not playing well, you have another center. So you got possibly Brianna Turner and Timpson to do a little short stints at center, but also DD. I don't know. I don't know how great the Lynx are. They don't have a lot of depth. The Lynx. Liberty looked good. Liberty looked good on paper. And we'll see. Brandon Stewart is completely healthy and is playing better than she did Unrivaled. You know, it's kind of important since she's kind of like their best player or close to it. I don't know if she's. We'll see how Sabrina Ionescu plays this year. Did Kate play the other night? I think she didn't. I don't think she played for some reason. I looked that up. F them picks says she wants to see Kagan Clark, Lexi Hall, Sydney Colson, Demir Tantris, and Dwayne Bonner. Sydney Cunningham Sydney Cunningham, sorry. Sophie Cunningham. Yeah, I'm sure you'll see that lineup. I don't think it's going to be all the time, but you'll see this lineup especially against 70 guards. Yeah, it depends on the other lineup. I'm sure Chrissy Sides will figure it out. AB needs to go beast mode. Retro hairstylist, how are you? Yeah, I don't agree with you. I think Turner, people are down on Turner because she doesn't look for her own shot. She's not a good offensive player, but if you watch her, she had 8 rebounds and 4 assists the last game. She set screens. She plays really good defense. She rebounds. Yeah, no, she's an all-around player. Other than the fact she doesn't really look for her own shot. I don't agree with people on that. I think Turner is an asset. And she's not flashy, and she doesn't look for her own shot. So people are underrating her, in my opinion. But I guess you'll know further when you see her play more in the regular season. Was she standing in the corner? A little bit. I think, you know what? She also has that leg injury. So maybe she was just trying to rest. And I think when the season starts and she's healthy, I think she'll do some Steph Curry stuff where she runs around and gets open, set for 3-point shots, and gets some screens set for her when they have her off the ball. And I think she'll stand in the corner. Oh God, is this true? Asia's again? What is she? It's like a daily thing with her. What did she say? Is this an article or an interview or something? What did she say this time? I don't even want to cover it anymore. I'll be honest with you. Rob and I talked about that. It's like during the offseason, we're so tired of all the drama. We just wanted the games to start because of too many of the same topics. She's so annoying. It's pretty sad, and you got like let's just assume she's the best player. It's pretty soon you get the best player in the league to be unlikable. And Brandon Stewart's not real likable either, and she's got a drab personality, and she's unattractive too. So there's like no star power with Brandon Stewart. Asia Wilson is a terrible personality. Nafisa Collier is quiet. She's attractive, but she's not a super exciting player like Caitlin Clark. She's likable, but a lot of the stars in this league aren't that likable. Alyssa Thomas, like what, the 5th or 6th best player in the league? She was 3rd in the MVP, 2nd in the MVP only 2 years ago, but 5th last year. She's not likable at all. So it's another star that's not likable. Simran Eskew, she's not super charming either. Just think about top 7 players in the league. Kalia Copper, she can't do an interview without, sounding like she's from North Philly. So it's pretty bad when your top 10 players aren't very likable. Caitlin Clark's likable, but yet she's the one that has the most hate on her. Yet she's the most likable. It shows you how stupid this league is. Yeah, we'll see in the first game what happens with Caitlin Clark when she's hoping people get the ball back to her. 44 games is a lot to get it together when you have Caitlin Clark as your point guard. You saw that All-Star game. They figured out how to play with Caitlin immediately. How do you unblock someone from your phone? I don't know. Let's see. Tammy, she didn't play well. Is that what you're saying? I didn't see the game. I don't watch anything but Caitlin Clark's games, to tell you the truth. I watched a little bit of the finals, but that was it. I only watch Caitlin Clark. So when I see these teams, these players, I see them play 4 times a year. I just find it's going to be the Liberty and the Fever in the finals, in my opinion. We'll see. The Liberty were hungry last year. Remember, they didn't win. They had lost in the finals the year before, so they were hungry. They're not going to be quite as hungry this year. They're defending champs, but they're not going to be quite as hungry. Look at how complacent the Aces were last year after 2 championships. So just think about that. You're actually at a slight disadvantage when you're defending champions because you're not as hungry as everybody else. You have the confidence of a champion, but you also don't have the same hunger. Everybody else wants what you have. So people are talking about adding more players, but you got to pay these players. Let's let the league turn a profit first. That's all I can say. I don't know what to say. I'm all for like a couple practice players on a team like they do in football. I meant to go to ChatGPT and ask about that contracts in football for practice players. I don't think they count against the cap. But I meant to research that and I forgot. Yeah, I couldn't believe Lexi Hall. Where did that come from? Where did that 2-point game come from? I've never seen her do that before. I've never seen her be that aggressive. I've never seen her hit so many 2-point shots, 2-point jump shots. They weren't far away from the basket, but they were good shots. She hit every one of them like in a row. I got Asia fatigue. Yeah, I could do without her. Nobody puts Caitlin in the corner because Trissy size art. That was from the dance movie. What was it called? I got Asia fatigue. I don't think it's going to happen. Unless Dantes is more seriously injured than she is, they're not going to have her come back just because she had a family loss. It's, yeah, Timpson and Brown. They're keeping Timpson. I think Brown, like I said, I don't think if they waive Timpson, somebody will pick her up. If they waive Brown, probably no one's going to pick her up because she hasn't been picked up in the WNBA much at all. So I think that's the safest thing to do. It's too bad because if it wasn't for that dumb contract they gave Samuelson, a guaranteed contract for $180,000, my God, that cost them $110,000, and they could have had a 12th player. And they could add another extra, they're $43,000 extras, what they're going to have after they sign someone for 69. But you had 110,000 of that, and now they suddenly have 160,000. I mean, 110 and 153,000 they could have had instead of 43,000. So that would be easy. They could sign a good free agent for that. Kit wants Sophie to start. I think it depends on the team they're playing against. If the team has starts 3 guards or something similar to that, then Sophie should start. But if not, then I don't think she should start. So I think it depends on the team. And I think you're going to see that. I don't think you're going to see the same starting lineup for 44 games. I don't think Chrissy Side is afraid to mix it up. All the veterans know they're there to just try to win a championship and not be worried about their numbers and their playing time. They all know that. They just want to win a championship. So yeah, I didn't find Dennis Rodman very likable. He became more and more a pain. But that's true. And Rakia Jackson's attractive. It always helps a little bit. And so there's so many of the top stars, though. I just went through most of them. The top 10 stars. Jackie Young seems likable enough, but other than that, I mean, just think about all the people they made first team All-Pro and second team All-Pro last year, and go through the list and see how many of them are like even the top 15 players. So that's unusual for a league where so many players aren't likable. I know some people in here don't like the NBA players, but I find the WNBA players less unlikable than the NBA players. Dirty Dancing, yeah, that was the thing. Dirty Dancing, I couldn't remember the name of the movie for a second. Yeah, Lexi Hall looked good. Man, she gets those rebounds that she comes out of nowhere to get a rebound. That's a hustle play. I mean, that's one rebound, but it's really more than one rebound because it's a rebound nobody else was going to get besides her. So it really doesn't show up in the stat sheet. But she's got her confidence back. I think that fourth quarter got her confidence back, and I think she's going to play well. He only wanted Nola Smith, or he only wanted Nola Smith. Is this a mistake here? DJ Carrington. Did he really say that? I saw some headline of that. I thought maybe it was like an AI video, so I didn't look at it. But I don't know. DJ Carrington's a great defender, but she's not a good offensive player. They won't cut Timpson, don't worry. I mean, if Jaylen Brown had played great, they might cut Timpson, but she hasn't played great. She just showed athletic ability, I think, and hustle. They probably have their eyes on players that maybe we haven't even mentioned, but that they know they waiting to see if they get waived, and then they're going to be in contact with and say, "Hey, listen, we're going to pick you up after 10 or 15 games. Come talk to us." So don't sign with anybody else. They may do that. They may cut Jaylen Brown and not re-sign her. Like I think they may pick someone off the waiver line and say, "Hey, can you wait 15 games? We'll pick you up." I hope she doesn't. I hope she just runs the show. I think the organization has said to Caitlin, "This is your show. This is your team," and I think she's not going to defer like you think, Charlie. But we'll see. I mean, she's going to defer some because they're veterans and they're good players. But it's her offense. Let's be honest about this. It's not the Fever's offense. It's her offense. So she doesn't need to defer. They have to do what Caitlin likes to do because that's how they're most effective. And what Caitlin's best at, not just what she likes to do, but what she's most effective at, which is running and stuff like that. So I'm not too worried about that. I'm sure that will be like that for 10 games. That's about it. As long as the playoffs come around and she does not deferring anymore, that's all that matters, right? If she comes into the playoffs with all this confidence and like, I'm going to lead this team to a title, that's what we want, right? You want Caitlin Clark thinking, I'm the show, I'm going to lead them to the title. Even though I'm young, I'm the main person here. And that's what you want Caitlin to be thinking when the playoffs start. The first part of the season, I don't think it's that big a deal. Yeah, it's good that, though, they have Lexi Hall and Sophie to give you energy off the bench. How many teams have those really good energy players off the bench? 2 of them. 2 good players who are both energy players off the bench. How many teams have that? Not many. New York's the only one that can match their depth. So that's a problem in the championship. But it's not a problem being number 2, making the finals, at least making some damage. Yeah. The Fever goes with Caitlin Clark. Anyways, oh, was that another? That was another Mick exaggeration. Oh God, I believe it. It doesn't sound like something he would say in public. He might have done it, but I don't think he'd tell anybody that. With the roadkill on her head, the long nails. Again, those nails should be. There should be a limit to nail length in basketball. He said he was glad he got Smith with the 8 pick, so it would give them a better chance to get Carrington. That sounds like that was one of the reasons he traded for Smith then, if he really said that. Moses doesn't like the NBA, so. And I find the WNBA women less unlikable. The last soccer team, this one that just won the Olympics, they were likable. The women's soccer team that won the Olympics, but that's because some of the ones that you didn't like left. Does Cardozo right now have long braids? I don't care. I don't know why they want these really long hair. I can't see how that doesn't affect you physically when you play a sport. The really long hair, and especially some of the braids, which are heavier. That's just me. But yeah, their teammates, the people like Caitlin. And if they want to be on the team, they better like her. Oh. That's interesting. I don't know. I never really thought about it. If it flips around and hits people, I guess that's a problem, right? If it's too long and it flies around. I haven't really seen that happen much, though. CC has championship mentality. Yeah. Oh, well, she can't win a championship. You understand that, right? She's never won anything. Despite the fact that she won 3 Big Ten titles and she won 3 gold medals with the U.S. team, but those don't count. High school championships count, but those don't count, just so you know. Choked by a weave. So it goes. I don't know. Maybe there should be. I didn't see Cardozo's new weaves. Why, you suggested that? You suggested there should be a length on the weaves, and they didn't like that? Yeah, I didn't like Robin's personality. I thought Robin was all about himself. I don't like that type of personality where he doesn't care about other people. He just cares about himself. Caitlin cares about other people. Caitlin has become my favorite athlete of all time, but I'm still attracted to DJ and Karen. I'm a weak man. Really? Now we got this weave conversation going. Oh, well, it really. I'm thinking not less about the less about the weaves and the hair is like the length, which shouldn't be a cultural thing. I mean, white people have long hair too, but they're more likely to have longer ones. Which the length is really the problem if they're flying around too. The weaves could be heavier. I don't know. I didn't really think about it before this. The nails bother me more after what happened to King Clark. But I just don't understand it. Like, look at Shakira Richardson. Now, in the World Championship Finals, which she won, she took her nails off for that final race. But she doesn't normally take them off. And she's got these huge, and it's got to get in the way when you're down in a, for the to start in 100. And then she has like the long hair, that are all wigs and stuff like that. That's got to weigh something. She's talking about a hundredth of a second race, and she's got long nails, she's got breast implants, and she's got wigs on, like in outfits. I'd want to be stripped down as light as I could, especially for the 100, where you're talking about a hundredth of a second or 200ths of a second. I think she's crazy. Shakira Richardson. She's not the brightest bulb in the book. Anything that weighs you, like necklaces, anything, and all that weighs you down. Shakira Richardson did. She got breast implants. But all of that weighs you down. Everything weighs you down. When I played Ultimate Frisbee, I didn't wear a watch. I didn't wear any jewelry. I just wore my T-shirt, shorts, underwear, socks, cleats, and that's it. And only if it was slightly cold out that I put on sweats or a long shirt. And everything else, I felt like it was weighing me down or slowing me down. Yeah, she wears like a necklace and stuff. It's crazy. You're sitting there trying to win. I don't know. I don't want to dwell on it. I just see it and I think it's crazy. The long hair that they have, some of those women, and it's not even their hair. Well, take it off for the race. Still wait. No, I don't wear. I have contacts, but I have hard contacts because I don't like soft contacts. I was used to hard contacts, and I can't see up close. I can't read, so then I have to put reading glasses on. So I just put my glasses on. It's easier. But I wear my contacts, just not when I do the videos and stuff like that. I can't see. I go out whenever I go out and I play sports or I go out to bars or restaurants. I have contacts on. Any physical activity I do, go dancing or whatever, I wear contacts. But that's just my theory on what I wear when I play sports. I want nothing to restrict me, nothing to weigh me down. It's not a fashion show. I'm out there to play a sport. That's just how I look at it. Um, what is thinks of these teams looking better? I'm trying not to draw too much conclusion from preseason. I was surprised that Golden State lost a close game and then won a game. As a you know, I don't know how many minutes the starters played. I didn't really study it that closely. The two teams they were playing, but I was afraid they're a very new team. They may get blown out, because they're so new. I mean, they have no experience playing together, and they don't have any superstars. But that's pretty good what they did in the preseason in the two preseason games. Again, you don't know how hard the other team was trying to win the game, but they won one and lost one, and they didn't get blown out in the one they lost. It's a close game. So maybe they're going to be better than I thought they were going to be, because I saw the over-under was 15-5. And there were two teams that I know they made 4 more games this year, but there was 2 teams that won 8 and 9 games last year, and they weren't expansion teams. So it seems like the bet should be under the 15-5 for the under for Golden State. But I don't know. After they looked okay in the preseason, we'll see. They may be awful when the regular season starts. How long have I had my head shaved clean? 15, maybe 15 years. That's a good question. I watched the first half of the Pacers game. Oh, really? The Mercury was doing bricks too? I find women's basketball hard to watch. This is Caitlin Clark. I'll be honest with you. The Cavs are in, but they're down 3-1 now. They won game 3. They lost a game with a close game with 3 starters out. They all had small injuries. Then they played the next game and they won, and then they lost. So yeah, that's 3-1. The next series is 2-1 with Celtics. It's 2-1 with the Warriors and Timberwolves, and then 2-2 for Boston and the Timberwolves. Right? It's 2-2. That was they won a close game in Denver yesterday, so they got theoretically the home court advantage back. Yeah, every time she shows up, the Pacers win in the playoffs. She's 6-0 or something like that. But they've been winning, period. So, all right, what do we got here? I never had turf toe, so I don't know anything about that. I never had that type of injury before. I've had a calf injury and a hamstring injury, and nothing real super serious. Just like a couple calf injuries and hamstring injuries, groin pull, but I never had a turf toe. Sprained my ankle. I never had a serious leg injury like ACL or anything like that. Angel's going to play point. Yeah. So we'll see. I think he's experimenting, and she won't get as many rebounds, won't get her double-doubles, because she's a walking double-double. We found that out. Walking double-double. So she must be good because she gets double-doubles. Excuse me. So who do you think is going to win tonight, the Knicks or the Celtics? And how about Timberwolves Warriors? I guess people are always going to pick the Timberwolves unless the Warriors without Curry. So the game starts at 7:30. I agree, Charlie. I know. Has that just the term double double? I don't want to hear again for the rest of my career listening to following basketball. It's like it ruined the whole image of double double. It ruined the whole concept to me. Their obsession. Curry has a hamstring injury, and you can't rush those. Those are just things you have to rest. I mean, even modern medicine can't do much for you. New York is going to choke, and Rob is going to cry. We'll see. If they win tonight, that's a big deal. I think it's a huge deal. Whoever wins game 4 is probably going to win the series because you're going to go down 3-1, and New York still has a home game left. Your chance of winning when you're down 3-1 is 4.7% in NBA history, 95.3. So at 2-2, everything's up. Of course, Boston still has 2 home games left to be 2-2. Yeah, they didn't say if Caitlin Clark's injury was a hamstring. They just said tightening in her leg muscle. It could be the front, or it could be a muscle in the front of her leg. I think it will help. I hope it doesn't slow her down. I have no idea whether it slowed her down because she didn't look as fast as she did last year. But she has a leg injury. It's preseason. She doesn't need to, stress herself. She added 10 pounds of muscle. But like I said before, she added leg muscle too. So it shouldn't really slow her down that much because she should have more speed from her legs, even though she's carrying 10 more pounds. Because I'm sure she worked out with her not just her arms, but her legs too. And that can make you faster. So we'll see what happens. A quad, not a hammy. Yeah, I heard it. I didn't hear it was a hamstring. So, yeah, her legs and her arms look bigger. So, yeah, I was worried that the 10 pounds of muscle, but she's been working out with weights since she was a sophomore since after her freshman year in college. So this is nothing new. Like she's gotten a little stronger every year. I think that she just did more weights this year than she did in the other years because she's been working out. I've read that she wanted to increase her strength after her freshman year and then help bulk up a little bit and improve her passing. I read something about that. It was weights and passing she wanted to improve on after her freshman year. And so I think that's one of the reasons she's always had distance on her shot is because she's worked out with weights since her freshman year. So, but yeah, if you had too much muscle, I'm sure it can throw your shooting touch off. But it doesn't seem that she seemed to be shooting well in preseason. So, and that's with a sore leg. Yeah, I heard an interview with a player. It had to do with Steph Curry had the sore thumb. And they asked him if he was targeting his thumb. He goes, yeah, I was. Like, that's how cheap. I'm not saying you have to avoid the person because he has an injury, but you don't target the injury. I think it's cheap. It's just sportsmanlike to me. Just play normal. Like they don't have an injury. Don't give them any benefit because of the injury, but don't target it like you're trying to injure more. It just like someone could do that to you. It's just cheap and unsportsmanlike. I don't agree with that at all. Oh, he's injured. I'll go after his sore. Why? You can't beat him otherwise? How would you like it if they were doing that to you? It's just crazy. Old school? I'm not sure if old school says don't go after the injury, don't go after the person's injury. I'm not sure that's what it says. Oh, not win anyway. I don't know if that's the same point I was talking about. Yeah. Anyway, oh, you're talking about Basil. Okay. I don't know what that is about. The Karen retrial and crooked ass Boston Bay. No, I have not been. I've been trying to avoid the news. I guess it got me so depressed over the last 6 months. I've been trying to avoid the news. I don't think we're going in the right direction. So okay, yeah, sorry, Charlie. I think you're going to see they're going to experiment. This is my opinion. Let me know what you guys think in the thread. I think they're going to experiment blitzing and double teaming and triple team Caitlin and seeing if it works against a team with more experience and with a better coach. And then it doesn't work, I think they're going to back off. But I don't think they're just going to give up on that. I don't think they're going to say, well, we're not going to do it because they got a new coach and veteran players and stuff like that. So we'll see what happens when the regular season starts about how they try to contain Caitlin Clark. But, if she's even better than last year, it's a scary prospect to try to contain someone who is so ball dominant and so versatile. Yeah, I think they're going to start out doing that and seeing if it works, blitzing and double teaming and triple teaming her. If it doesn't work, they'll back off and trying to find another way to try to contain their offense. If that means, wasn't Minnesota Lynx giving up the rebound more than other teams were after a shot because they were afraid of Caitlin Clark running the court and passing up down the court to someone like Bonner. Bonner's a great receiver for that, right? Those long arms, she's pretty fast for a 37-year-old. I think someone said that she got one foul call, but it was a non-shooting foul. But I'm not 100% sure on that. I could be wrong. She got 4 fouls called on her in 2 games, but I think only one in her favor. And that's not, you can't measure it that way. You got to measure it which ones what should have been called. She got fouled and they weren't called. And that's going to happen. That's going to happen for the rest of her career. We did a video on this today. Yeah, Bonner's a tough cover. She's got height, long arms, and, good speed at least for a 37-year-old. I don't know how. It's fast. She's fast enough. Let's put it that way. So where's Bobby tonight? Telling us that Caitlin Clark's the 4th best player in the league. The post pattern to Bonner all season long, therefore. I am too. I think that's going to be the most common thing. I think Kelsey Mitchell's fast, so she's going to do it for her, and she did it last year, and she was getting it down last year. I think that Aaliyah Boston's going to be there and help Caitlin Clark get the rebound, and the other 3 people are all going to run. That's what I think. And same thing with Bonner. I mean, when Dantas is in there, her and Caitlin are getting the rebound. The other 3 players are all going to run, unless at the top of the key when the shot's taken, then maybe they'll run. Who's getting cut? I told you already he's getting cut. Jaylen Brown's getting cut, but they may bring her back. So I don't. Well, I don't think the prison ball is going to end this year. I think they're going to call it a little tighter than last year, but I don't think you're going to see a significant difference in independent Aquaman. I just don't have a lot of confidence you're going to see any kind of significant difference. They should, but I don't think that's what's going to happen. But I do think it'll be a little better than last year. Caitlin Clark may get a little better whistle than last year, a little fewer assaults, and the reffing may be a little better than last year, and it may be a little tighter than last year, and fair, But I don't think there's going to be a big change. So you may be gone after 10 games because I don't think you're going to see a big change. Yes. Kelly, Amber, and you'll take care. Go after the NBA for referees keeping up the crappier non-fall calls. I hope so. I just don't know how much. What can they do though? They can complain, but if the commissioner is afraid to do something, what difference does it matter if they complain? So. No. Well, I can't make any promises. I'm not doing fantasy. Rob would do one free on ESPN. They do all the scoring. We can draft on Thursday. Let me talk to Rob. Rob, I've never played a fantasy league before. I'm afraid I'll get obsessed with it and too time consuming. I heard that you got to follow all the stats really closely and stuff, which I like stats, but let me talk to Rob. Rob plays. I think Rob's in one fantasy league. I think he did fantasy football. All you need is 8. Let me talk to Rob. 8 people. Maybe Rich Latta wants to do it too because he's out here on Thursday nights. Can I give CC on my fantasy team? Yeah, that's the thing. That the players, they all say, "Oh, we want zeros added to our salaries and contracts. We want this. We want that. We want this." In a league that's not making money, in a league that is trying not to make a lot of money by holding Caitlin Clark down. So you're not acting like you want them to make money. The refs aren't helping you, honey. So they're just so stupid. So is the lottery today like right now, or is it a halftime today? Well, because when is the NBA draft? What time? 7 p.m. on ESPN. Let me see what happened. Did they draft it yet? Because we need the Sixers to get the number 1 pick, to get Cooper Flagg. Well, they definitely need a new commissioner. That goes without saying. I've never seen a commissioner who's so incompetent in my entire life. So if they do this, they go on strike and the league folds, then Caitlin Clark can start her own league. Right? That's what we want. That's what you want. And then you get new refs. And you interview the refs.
On a warm day, you want two things. A refreshing drink made with real fruit juice like Simply Spiked Lemonade, and a way to get cool. Oh, you can leave it open. Simply Spiked.
I believe she does have a contract. And I don't know when it ends, but I have to look that up. She works for the owners. It's weird.
Everything's just $6. But the breakfast eggs combo, $6. French toast breakfast, $6. $6 for all this and all that.
Yeah.
That's a lot of breakfast for $6. Weekdays at IHOP. Make breakfast crisp easy.
Hold on a second. Yo, what is it? Straight
They're going to try to use CC as leverage now. Yeah. She doesn't act like she works for the owners. She's not trying to make them more money by holding Caitlin Clark down.
This is that Sprouts feeling.
Your score is higher than a giraffe on a pogo stick.
That's because I bank fee-free through Chime. Plus, I do credit for everything.
I'll be commissioner of that league. I could do a better job than her. There'd be so many changes with the refs, it's not even funny.
Welcome back to the 2025 NBA Draft Lottery, presented by State Farm.
Draft lottery's on. I have the draft lottery on right now.
The 1985 NBA Draft goes to the Indiana Pacers. Well, horseshoe work. Basketball is back. They're on the phone looking like John Thompson. They're making a big decision. Here's David Stern.
They have ball graph. They have more than one ball graph. They have a white ball graph. They have at least two black ball graphs. So, bye, Retro.
Game 4 coming up immediately after the lottery concludes here in Chicago. One more look at the man of the moment. That is Cooper Flagel, along with the rest of us, waiting to hear which team will get the number one pick in next month's NBA draft. And the Sixers table, we were on a wild ride. That's what we see. Nick Nurse, Elton Brandon, Daryl Morey. You guys are inside the top four as we await.
Sixers are in the top four.
The 76ers are the Charlotte Hornets. The San Antonio Spurs.
San Antonio Spurs, they are in the top four.
Dallas Mavericks.
The Dallas Mavericks.
And once again, joining us to announce the order of the top four picks is NBA Deputy Commissioner and Chief Operating
Here we go.
Mark Tatum. Thanks again, Kevin. The fourth pick in the NBA draft goes to the Charlotte Hornets.
Fourth pick, Charlotte Hornets.
Third will be the Philadelphia
No! I wanted first.
pick will be made by the San Antonio Spurs, and that means that the number one pick in the 2025 NBA draft goes to the Dallas Mavericks.
Oh, so my new favorite team is Dallas Mavericks.
Rolando Blackman, all smiles, four-time All-Star.
Cooper Flag's going to Dallas.
The Dallas Mavericks had a 1.8% chance to win the number one pick.
1.8% chance of winning. So they traded away
Again, they had the chance to get in the top four at 8.5%, less than 2%.
their franchise player, and they get another player that could be a franchise.
The number one pick, and it is the fourth lowest all time to win the NBA lottery. Last year,
Wow.
we saw Hawks at 3%. Now you see the Mavericks cracking the top
Wow, the Mavericks are going to be good in the future for the next 5 years as long as Anthony Davis is healthy.
Has much more with the winners.
Orlando, this is unbelievable. What does this mean for the Dallas Mavericks? This incredible
Bummer.
honor.
Well, for us, it's been a rough year.
Wanted the Sixers to get him.
The important part of the whole thing is that we'll get a chance to move our franchise forward. We have a tremendous staff and management, and the important factor for us is to be able to continue in that tradition and to be able to move forward. It's really a great honor, and it's an important piece.
I don't know. They had a 1.8% chance according to this.
What does Cooper Flag mean to you right now?
Well, the main factor is that he can hoop, he can play. The important factor is that there are a lot of great players in that draft class, and the important thing is that we'll see how the guys get together and being able to make our team better, which is exactly what we want to do.
Congrats. Back to you, Kevin.
Shams, thank you so much.
Well-
A closer look at the draft order as you see the Mavericks.
Sixers third.
Number 1 overall. Keep in mind the Spurs now have 2 lottery picks at number 2 and 14. The Sixers in the top 4. Number 3 overall. Then it's the Hornets, Jazz, Wizards. And
All right, well, Sixers get third pick. I don't know who's. I'll have to look at the.
Former Duke star Cooper Flag. What a wild ride for you, huh? What was going through your mind as you were experiencing this and seeing the draft lottery take place?
Yeah, I mean, it's just an incredible experience to be here, to have this opportunity. I mean, this is what I dreamed of since I was a little kid. So just to be here, it's an incredible experience and a great opportunity.
I don't know. I don't know what they do.
Now, what are you working on?
I don't see any reason why they would force him to go to Dallas.
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, it's always about just getting better
So.
all around. It's not one specific thing that I'm looking at.
I turned it on just in time.
Collective group of things and just trying to get all around better every single day.
You're not wearing a tie.
Dallas Mavericks made it known that they look for two-way players, guys to 10. That's what bring home championships, and that's why they traded Luka Doncic. You are a two-way player playing alongside Anthony Davis and Kyrie Irving. What you looking forward to?
Yeah, I mean, I think, like I said, this entire experience for me has been amazing. So going forward, just going to look forward to that, like you said.
What's the temperature of that envelope?
It's something that I've done since I was a little kid, so I'm just going to try and keep doing that to the best of my ability.
Cooper, Dallas is a good team. Did you see this coming? I mean, you must have thought about where you might be going, but I'm surprised. But you're going to a very kind of built team already. That's pretty unusual for what I think being the top pick.
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, I didn't try and think about it too much. I feel like it's just kind of out of my control. So I'm just kind of going through the process like everybody else and just trying to enjoy every single moment because we only get to do this once.
Congratulations, Cooper. Of course, enjoy the entire process as we lead into June and potentially a new home for you, which would be in Dallas. Cooper Flag, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Let's see the reaction and the Flag family joining him as well. Ralph and Kelly, proud parents there as well. And listen, there was a hush over the crowd. The drummer with the ping pong balls and the envelopes unveiling. And will we?
Thank you.
Let's see the reaction and the Flag family joining him as well. Ralph and Kelly.
Done by Dallas. I mean, they traded Luka Doncic and had all
That's
those
interesting.
injuries, with a team that I thought was really good, but the injuries really affected things. And now they have a chance at Cooper Flag at number 1. Just an extraordinary turn of events.
And I'm telling you, they're going to get it.
So they told you, they said, listen, you trade Doncic to the Lakers and we'll give you a Cooper Flag. Is that what it is? Because they wanted the Lakers to get higher ratings and the league get higher ratings? All right. I understand your theory.
Dallas took as much heat as
I just don't believe the league would do that because if they ever get caught doing it, it would ruin the whole credibility of the league.
Here you go. Yeah. Here's a good moment.
So-
Because he said, you got police outside your house. I mean, this is life. Life works in mysterious ways. Yeah. By the way, there have been 4 Duke players taken number 1 overall in the common draft era. That does not include Jay Billis. And now Flag will potentially join Kyrie Irving in Dallas together as Kyrie is one of the.
Did we all reach a consensus on CC winning the MVP? I don't know if there's a consensus. I think she's going to. Other people have said so too, but
Chicago is this week with coverage from Chicago on both Wednesday and Thursday from 2 to 6 p.m. Eastern Time. It's been quite a night. On behalf of our entire crew,
I don't think they do it, but that's me.
Number 1 pick in the 2025.
I think because if they did it and never got out, it would ruin the credibility of the league, and that would be it. So I don't think they would ever chance something like that. I think that everything just happened was coincidences, including the Knicks and the Ewing. It didn't work. They didn't get any championships. Ewing got no championships. Thanks to John Starks, 1 for 17 or whatever he was. So let's see. You said you think the MVP will only let CC win if they keep the Fever from making the finals. Well, this is a regular season award, and the voting ends before the playoffs. So I don't think that's going to be a factor. They have to vote right after the last regular season game. I'm not saying it's impossible. I haven't seen any real proof that did. Yeah. No, flag to Philadelphia would have been better because I would have been happier. The Sixers haven't won a championship since like 83. So you have the Fever winning 34 games. I have the Fever winning. I said 33-35, and I said I would give a final number after the last preseason game. So I guess I have to think about that and give up one before Saturday. I guess I'll go with 33 for now, because they didn't blow me away in the preseason, but I'll go with 33. If they blew me away, I was going to go with 35, but it's hard to say. Caitlin played injured. She only played 2 games. The Brazilian team game doesn't mean anything. They weren't that good. So, no, I didn't bet. I want to bet. I should bet on the Fever, though, on the over. I wanted to bet on the under on Golden State, but they look pretty good in preseason. Yeah, with Griselda, how you doing? Yeah, I have, like I said, 33-35 is where I think I'm going with 33, I guess, because that gives them exactly 750 winning percentage, 3 win 3, lose 1. That seems about right. I don't know what place that's going to get them, because New York's going to have a similar record, so it could be a really close race. Jaylen Brown to an answer. Connecticut Sun are for sale? Really?
You can really taste the hickory on this August 6-hour smoke.
Oh, well.
I always thought your best quality was your flavor value. But you know, people think I'm funny too.
Is it really for sale? What did Asia Wilson say? Really? I could Google that. Let's see. Nike finally made an ad with Kagan Clark. Really? Are the Connecticut Sun for sale? Connecticut Sun moving to Boston came up in the search. No, the Connecticut Sun is not moving to Boston. The Connecticut Sun for sale. The Connecticut Sun is reportedly exploring a sale. The current owners of the team have hired an investment bank to explore selling the franchise. A sale is likely and the team could be relocated. So I guess it depends on who buys them. Wow. All right, that's kind of big news.
This is the moment that we found out that they received, despite just having a 1.8% chance to do so, the #1 pick in the 2025 draft and the rights to capture the flag. So you can see this is how the draft order shakes out. It's the Dallas Mavericks with the #1 pick, followed by the Spurs. The 76ers keep their selection, and then the Charlotte Hornets. It's a tough go for you.
So
fans rounding out the top 5 here. You saw our reaction. Now you get to hear it. Ryan Woodworth, what does this mean, bro?
What's the date of my reference for what? Them selling? Oh, I know. I just Googled it. So it's right now, but I don't, they're for sale. So who has any idea whether they're going to move or not until you find out who buys them? It's all silly speculation, in my opinion.
Roller coaster of a season, and you can even think about Nico being called the villain. Now feels like he could be a hero coming out of this circumstance.
I don't know if I go that far, but it's a crazy set of
For the day, it is a wild set of circumstances that have shaken out. Well, I wonder if a wild set.
They wanted Giannis and Giannis for years. They signed his brother a few years ago.
It's time to get you out to New York for tip-off of Game 4.
Tip-off, 5 minutes away. Rob's working.
A playoff career high 29 points as usual. Elite defense. Knicks took Game 1. Game 2 saw Mikal Bridges hit big shots and make these stop as the Knicks won again.
1 second.
Game 3, the NBA's best six-man, Peyton Pritchard, came off the bench and shined to help the Celtics earn the victory. More than beat tonight in Game 3. Can't wait to find out. The NBA Conference semifinals on ESPN. I heard that the Magic program.
I know. I think it's silly to speculate until you find out who buys them. They may, someone local may buy them, and someone not local may want to buy them and may want to move them. I don't know. There's a lot of empty cities because there's only 13 teams. That's one good thing about the WNBA is there's still a lot of large cities that don't have teams. So. You know, let's see. There's something I wanted to check. So, all right, Lindy, bye. If anybody wants to make a donate to the channel, there's super chats and super thanks that you can. We highly appreciate it. Yeah, we talked about Caitlin being on the Fever. Keep winning whenever she shows up. I can see if Nafisa Collier, like let's say the Fever win the title and Fee doesn't win a title, I can see Nafisa Collier wanting to play with Caitlin Clark. And she'd be a fantastic addition. I mean, the best addition, obviously, in the league. But I don't know if she's ever going to do that or not. She might want to compete against her. Who knows? But she'd cost a lot, but it'd be worth it. Well, if they don't play the same position, but she's a better player, yeah, she's as good as any player in the league. The way she looked in Unrivaled, she looked like she was at the second half of the season. She played as well as Asia Wilson. Asia Wilson played better the first half of the season. Yeah. So the basketball game is going to start. So I'm going to call it a night and watch the game. So I can talk about it with Rob tomorrow. So anyways, Thursday night, we got Rich Lattis showing up. Rob's not working, so he'll be there. So we'll have 3 people on the, we'll have a real forum on Thursday night. So join us for Thursday night at 5:30. And Saturday, I'll be doing the game live, streaming that. That's going to be on ABC, I think, against Chicago Sky and their new look offense. We'll see. Oh, there's Spike Lee. Who's Susie Essman? I don't even know who she is. All right, later, Griselda. All right, anyways, I'm going to call it a night. You guys, I'm going to watch the game. Have a nice night. And we'll talk to you later. All right. So we'll see you Thursday night, everybody. Thanks for coming. Appreciate the support. Good night. I'm taking the 2 favorites. I'm taking Boston, and I'm going to take Boston and the Timberwolves. I'm wimping out. All right, see you later.